So starting from the cross is arguably the hardest part to teach. It's actually it's easy to learn, but at the same time it's very hard to teach because how random the cube can be. There's too many cases to be taught. But the general idea is that you have 15 seconds during an actual solve, so you want to plan out your cross during that 15 second as much as possible. And for your move, you try to this is a bit advanced. For a very optimal speed, you want to keep your cross at the bottom, and then try to do everything with as little rotation of the cube as possible. But for starting, it's fine if you just rotate and turn around. It's okay. But you want to still try to make your cross efficient as possible. So just making a white cross, for example, I see that this blue-white is already solved. Then this white orange is here, white green, and white red. What I might try to do over here is that I'll just solve this, set this up like this, so that when I solve my white orange, white green's in position, and then I just do this kind of move. So what essentially happening is I'll just do it from here, but what you are doing actually is just lift up this white cross and then connect and join it down like this. Okay, so this is just a very quick example for a white cross. Okay, now you see that notice that you have these cases. You might already learn this in your LBL, and the thing about F2L is that it's actually fine to just keep it here, or you can just do your LBL stuff. It's fine also. You don't really have to force it into a F2L in a sense. Okay, so you can just do this your whatever how you usually do it. It's fine. Okay, now I see this white, green, orange, and this green orange pieces. The idea when your white piece is at the top, when it's like when the color is opposing, you want this color to be here. You want this piece to be here. When they are opposing, you want it to be at the opposite side of it. So how you can set it up to that is maybe you can do something like this. Then you already set this up, these two up. Okay, so you just want to, because this is green orange, you want it to be at opposite. Then you can just put this corner to its slot position, and you notice how you can just solve it in 3 moves. From the front, this is how it looks like. Okay, but you can just solve it. I got a free pair over here, white, blue. When you got a free pair, it's a good thing. So you don't want to mess it up. You just want to insert it. Okay. And then I got these two. So again, when it's opposing color, when the color does not match, it is opposing. You want it to be at the opposite. So you can again hide the corners. When you hide the corners, you want to make sure that you're using an open slot. Okay, so you can just do it like this. You can use your open slot, because whatever you do here will actually affect this slot. So if you do it at here, you notice that you actually break up a soft pair, which you do not wish to. So opposite, soft. A few cases that you might run into is that when you have your white corner facing up instead at the side. When it's this, when the white corner is facing up, you want your edge pieces connected to its center position. This is not this step is not compulsory. You can actually do some other tricks with it, but for beginner easy understanding cases, just do this for now. You can experience a bit more and play around with it as you progress, but for now you want to connect this to the center, and then you want this to be like this. Okay, you want it to be away, because how do I say this? Okay, notice how when your white green orange is like this, when you are to it, you notice that your corner is at the top and the edge is at here. So we want to somewhat form this kind of pair over here. We want to somewhat form this pair over here. So what we're doing here is that we can put it down and then connect it. And you notice how it's being paired up. If it doesn't make sense to you, just trust this. Connect the center, put it down, and you get yourself a pair. How you can insert a pair? You can do this inverse XC. You can do this. I actually don't know. Is this slash M? Never mind. You can just insert it whatever way you want. Other cases you might run into. No, not this one. Okay. You might run into cases like this, where there's basically just three main cases when your corner is at the top. We already mentioned when they are opposing, when the white's facing up, and this one is a little bit easier. You need to use this slot that is not being solved, and then you want to just connect them. Okay, this is a little bit more straightforward. Connect them, and then you can solve it. You might run into this kind of situation where your white corners at the slot itself already, and then your edge pieces is at the top. There's many ways you can do it. You can just move your piece away and then move your corner up, and then eventually you get into some cases that you know. Okay. But just for your information, if you run into these specific cases where your corner when it's like this, how do I explain this? Okay, when your edge pieces is connected to its center and your white is at the side, you can just do sexy move 2 times and then you solve the case. And when it's like this, when it's at the connected, but then it's like the white is actually at front, you can just do. You notice how this is very similar to these cases. Okay, you notice that this is actually just somewhere in between, so you can just do this. Okay, so that's roughly the concept for first 2 layer, very briefly. On to the top cross. Building the top cross, you run into 4 cases where the cross is already built, which you do nothing. You run into this case where you have this 2 at the side. They're not. It's not a line. It's like a small L here on the edge pieces. So what you're doing here is a small you're doing 2 layer F move. Okay, 2 layer F move, sexy, inverse. Okay, and you get this. You don't really get this cross off all the time. You got a little bit lucky just now. Okay, this doesn't do it. How do I do that? Okay, you might also run into this kind of cases with single line, as I mentioned. So F, okay, when it's L, big 2 layer. When it's line, single layer. And when it's not this. Okay, when it's like none is being solved, what you're doing is just any of it, it will set out to another. So basically you just do your small single layer F move, sexy, then double layer F move, sexy. You get this cross solved one way or another. Okay, so quick note, single line, single layer, L, 2 layer. Yeah, kinda concept. And then moving into your building your 4 corners orientation, where we try to orient the entire top surface. This is something that an algorithm that you must memorize. Is very helpful, which is the Sun case, which you have already learned. This is the RU R prime, U RU2 R prime. Okay. The concept here is that when you move into top cross, you want to solve it into this case where the 1 corner is already being oriented. Then there's 3 corners left to orient. Okay, and all you have to do is focus on this corner. what you need to remember is that when there are 4 corners to be orients, you cannot see yellow over here. Okay, so this is not okay, this is not okay, but this is okay, and this is okay. Okay, but when there's only 2, you want yellow here. So 2, when 2 corners to be orient, you want yellow here. When 4 corners to be orient, you don't want yellow here. Okay, so just set it off like this or like this, both works. You do the algorithm R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And you run into this, which you can do the same thing again. Let's save into another case. Sorry. What am I doing? Okay. Okay, again, so this is 4 corners. So 4 corners, this is not okay, this is okay. You, and okay, you get into this case again. So that's why we are solving this, this is what we call the sun. You notice that when your oriented corner is at, on your left front, your white yellow is here. But you might run into another case where when your oriented corner is here, this is actually, your yellow is actually not facing front. There's many approaches you can try to do this. One way is just mirror your actions onto your left hand. So that works. Or you can just inverse all the move. You know what? Actually, for now, just do it with your left hand. Let's not make it too complicated. Just do it with your left hand. Okay, so this is a case where there's only 2 corners. So when there's only 2 corners, you want to make sure you can see yellow over here. Okay, this is not good. This is good. Then you solve it into one of these cases. Okay, and then moving into corners. There's many ways you can do corners. When we're doing corners, the first thing we want to do is always identify if we have headlights. Headlights are pair like this. Okay, so when we have a headlight, this is a bit tricky. You need to memorize this. When we have headlight, you want to put the like this. So basically, you put your headlight at the back. Okay, at the back, your headlight, you put it at the back, and then you put face it down. So it's actually over here. Okay, then what you do is R, U, R. You don't really need to memorize this. This is actually very smooth. Okay, so you can just R, U, R. My bad. R, U, R, and then D2. Oh, sorry, that was R prime U R. Okay, what am I doing? Okay, R prime U R, D2, R U prime, R prime, D2 R2. Okay, so we can then you have your corners oriented. This part you already know, so I'm gonna not really teach you about this. Okay, let's do the corners again. When you have headlights, R. Okay, when you have headlights, you put it at the back, and then face down. R prime U R prime, D2, R U prime R prime, D2 R2. Okay, so when we do it quick, a little faster, we do it like this. Okay, you can just make it one set, D2 R2. Okay, so you can just kind of drill this into your muscle memory. This is very helpful. So R prime U R, D2 R U prime R prime, D2 R2. Okay, so let's do another very quick example solve again from starting to the from the very start. Okay, now I'm looking at the cross. Okay, honestly I don't really find a very good cross here, but never mind. Let's do this anyway. I'll see that white red is already in position, green white is in position in one moves, and then white orange is actually in position by doing U2. And instead of actually solving my white green over here, you notice that when your white green is being shifted to your left hand, it can actually be solved. When you solve your right, you actually set up white. Sorry, when you solve your red, you actually set up for your green, and then you get this done. And then when you do your orange, similarly, we want to bring blue down as well in the process to set it up into position and then solve it. Okay, I think I will not focus on finger trick on this thing for this for now. We just talk about how to solve it generally. The first pair I noticed during the cross was actually white, green, orange, and green, orange. But you might actually also see this, but this is what I saw. So I'll just start with this one. White, green, orange, and green, orange. They are not matching colors, so I want it to be at my opposite. So I hide the corner, move the edge piece to where I want, and then put it back. And then white, green, orange, put it on top slot, insert it. Okay, it's very easy. You might not see this immediately, but white, green, red is actually a free pair over here. White, green, red is actually a free pair over here. You might not see it immediately, but it's okay. Maybe let's say you see this instead: white, white, blue, orange, and blue, orange. There's a fancy way to do it, but let's just keep it simple for this video. So we want to first split it up, okay, into something like this. This is a case that we already know how to do, so we can just split it up into something like this. Okay, so hide the corner, move the edge piece to somewhere else, put it back, and then we know how to do this. So hide the corner, set up the edge piece, and we have a pair. Okay, so we can solve it. Okay, just solve it. And then we have this white, blue, red, okay? And blue, red. Since white, the corner is on top, so we want to connect the center first, and then move it to the other direction. Connect this edge, corner and edge pieces together, and then you have a pair. Okay, now green, red, and white, green, red, they are non-matching colors, opposing color. So we want this to be here. We want these edge pieces to be here. So again, we want to use the empty slot. You don't want to use the occupied slot. You want to use the empty slot. Hide the corners, move it to the opposite, put it back. Okay, and then we can solve this. Very simple. Okay, then we have this L. So double layer F move, sexy, and then we are done. Okay, and then we have two corners, so we want to see yellow over here. We want yellow here, so this is not good. This is okay. So the Sun R U R prime U R U2 R prime, and then we solve into these cases. Notice that when you see yellow here, you don't see yellow here, so you have to do it from the left hand instead. Okay, so we have a headlight over here. This is our headlight. Then there's nothing here. Okay, so this is the headlight. The headlight you put at the back, press down, do the algorithm we taught just now. R prime, U, R prime, D2, R, U prime, R prime, D2, R2. Okay? Again, tree move. Okay, you can try to make this as smoothly as possible into your muscle memory. Tree move, D2, tree move, D2, R2. Then you have into this case, which you already know how to solve. Okay, but let's just do it again. We put it at the back. We know that these pieces want to move into here. Put it at the back. Move this one here. Okay, connect, and we are done.